All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Rubbing Elbows. Chuck, I miss you, man. I feel like we've been so busy that we only get the time to really get together on these episodes.
Right, but here we are, another Thursday,
Yes.
March 11th. I kind of wish I was in Cabo somewhere chilling, but it is what it is. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Welcome.
Absolutely. So today we're going to keep it very simple. We got some off-market opportunities, which we'll get into our segment, Chuck's Off-Market Deals of the Week. After that, we have a treat for you guys. We're actually going to pick Chuck's brain and learn for our business tip of the week how to capture listings without going through the typical steps that all agents are going to, and already have your buyers lined up. We'll get into all of that in a second. Let's get started with our segment, Chuck's Off-Market Deals of the Week. That beat always gets me, man. I'm always jamming to that beat. All right, so Chuck, what do we have? I know we just got something into escrow today, so it's fresh off the market. You want to start with that, or you have a couple other ones you want to talk about?
I've got a few ones. Let's start with that one.
Okay.
This one is NoHo Arts District, where you want to be. Okay. It is by right. You can build 41 units there. You're picking it up actually really for cheap. I haven't done the calculation, but I'll do that right now.
So first of all, it's 41 units by right. It's like 9,300 square foot lot in the heart of NoHo Arts District, which is
you're picking it up for like $53, $53,000 a door, which is absurd because as soon as you get approved plans, it's worth $100 a door. So that's a property we have on Fulcher. If you'd like information on that, reach out to me. Go to lafixers.com. I'll actually update the inventory. You can see it for yourself.
But also, there's two plays on that, so it's important to highlight. You can either buy it, get it RTI, build it, and that's going to be, obviously the most profitable. The other that we see a lot of investors do is they just purchase properties at a huge discount because a lot of people don't like going through the RTI process. All they do is take it RTI. They spend about $250,000 with their architect. They bring it RTI, takes about a year and a half, and then they sell it RTI, like you said, at about $100,000, give or take, up or down per door. If you do that at 40 units, $100,000 per door,
about 4.4.
It's $4.1, $4.2 million, and you're picking this thing up at 2.2 or so. So there's huge margins, even just bringing it RTI without developing it. So I just wanted to point that out.
Actually, hey man, why don't we do this deal?
You know what? We might have to.
Next deal on this beautiful Thursday, Lake Encino Drive. Okay, this is in prime Encino, south of the boulevard, way south of the boulevard. It's a 17,000 square foot lot, all flat. Okay.
Wow.
4,200 square foot home, immaculate condition. Okay. Immaculate condition, 5 bedrooms, 6 bath, sports court in the back. You got a basketball thing, got another office in the back. A huge barbecue area, a huge pool.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. How much? You got me excited.
So literally, if you were to, right now it kind of looks like a palace, if you will, like a Encino Palace, if you will. I'm sure you've seen the Encino Palaces. If you were to put about $200,000 into unpalacing it and making it just kind of a little bit more modern, aesthetically,
farmhouse style,
yeah. Take away the columns, take away the statues, bring it to modern times. You can literally list the property as is for $3 million. Okay.
How much can we get it for?
What's that?
How much can we get it for?
2.2 and change.
Oh man, that's awesome. 2.2.
4,200 square foot home plus an office in the back.
You
That's
know what's
not
going to happen
including
now, right? My wife is going to be watching this show like she does every week. And then she's like, why aren't you going to look at this one? She's going to start yelling at me that, why is Chuck posting this on the air instead of giving it to us? That's exactly what we're looking for.
Listen, well, as you know, my office here, I took over your office. And one of the houses that I bought was your house that I bought. So,
you're not getting my wife. Get over
give me an opportunity to contribute back, and sell something back to you guys. Anyway, if you guys are interested, if you want to see it, I can probably show it in the next 24 hours.
Okay.
It really is an incredible value. I cannot even believe that we got it for the space, and I'm kicking myself that I'm not in a position to buy right now, just because I'm kind of extended all over the place. And I would buy it. It's just an incredible opportunity. Where are you going to find a 5-bedroom house that large on that large of a flat lot in an incredible neighborhood, especially nowadays with multiple offers? So that's where that's at. Let's talk about the next one.
All right.
I've got a 30,000 square foot lot. Not all flat, only like 6,000 of it is flat, maybe 5,000 of it is flat. But it's in prime Royal Oaks. And it's got a 7,300 square foot RTI plans for a brand new house.
Royal Oaks is the most expensive neighborhood in Encino, right? They have like 10, 15, $20 million homes there.
Well, yeah, you've got Amestoy, right? And then you've got like Rancho over there. This is right above Rancho.
Yeah.
It's great neighborhood. You can build 7,300 square feet. You can sell it for around 5.2, 5.3. You're picking it up for dirt cheap. Like you're picking it up for free. $1,650,000.
Wow. And it has plans?
Approved plans.
Wow.
I'll tell you what happened with this house is somebody spent 3 years working on the plans and revising them and, doing this, that, and the other, and relocating a tenant, and spent so much time and efforts and money, and unfortunately lost the property to the bank right before he was ready to demolish. So, it's an opportunity for one of our listeners. Definitely not available to the public, not available out there, not available, period. Reach out to me on lafixers.com. You'll have the address there. The next one, this is one that I just got. It's still in the works. It's in Woodland Hills on Mulholland. Okay. Seller wants about 1.1 million. We're in final stages of locking it and being able to deliver and securing it. It's Woodland Hills on Mulholland. Again, I'll have the address on lafixers.com. It should be on there already now if you go. And that is it. We got 4 amazing one by one amazing off-market opportunities.
Yeah, looks like we should get some action on some of those. So the numbers on the first few are incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So
go to lafixers.com.
There you go. Here, let's throw it on there again. lafixers.com. Okay, so now let's move on. We haven't done this yet with this new platform. So we have a new segment, Lior's Business Tip of the Week. Today, both Chuck and I are going to share a little bit of insider information on how you can get some transactions. So let's jump into our new segment.
Oh. I like that.
I try to keep it a little light and funny because real estate could be serious and boring. Anyway, so what we want to talk about today, and Chuck, I'm going to be kind of on behalf of our listeners picking your brain and asking some questions, but the market is changing. Rates are going up, and they're going up fast, right? We've already seen a good increase, and all predictions show by May they're only going to go up. If I had to bet, I would say in the next 6 months, probably even sooner, maybe 3 months, we'd be a whole percent higher than we already that we are today, and we've already gone up 0.5% in the last couple of weeks. What that does is it creates a little bit of panic, but at the same time, it creates opportunity because there's a lot of people on the fence, and now they have to make a decision. If they feel that rates are going to go up, what's the first thing you think about when rates go up? What happens to the market?
Crashes.
It goes down, right? Everybody that wanted to sell, that thought about selling, may want to get in the last moment. So there's an opportunity now for the smart ones in our industry to capitalize on that opportunity. So what we wanted to do is share with you, when you talk to successful agents, you hear their strategies. It's typically the same stuff: door knocking, phone calls, talking to your network, consistently doing things, and that all works. But what else are certain people doing? And who better to ask than Chuck, who has basically built his entire business off of off-market opportunities. So how do you get these opportunities? How do you find buyers that want to sell? And how do you convince them to work with you when there's so much competition out there? So Chuck, let me ask you now, from a lot of your deals, I know at least 30-40% of your deals come from relationships, from partners. And I want to maybe have you kind of share some of the strategies that your partners are doing, that they're doing, that helps them solidify and lock in potential listings. I think you're on mute, by the way.
Yeah, I muted myself. Well, how do I answer that? So a couple of things. Yes, relationships are such an important. Bring my mic closer. Relationships are such an important piece of the puzzle for me because all it takes is one person who's not happy or is not happy with a previous deal maybe that we've done to screw things up for everybody else and just say, oh, you know what, this is not going to work. So for me, my reputation is so important. I want to make sure everybody's happy. I'm telling you, I'm not the realtor that's walking around with giving cookies at open houses. Okay, I'm not walking around kissing babies and shaking hands, but I make sure to be nice to everybody, to be kind to everybody, make sure everyone is wholehearted with whatever decision we do. Okay, that's the first piece of the puzzle. But as far as finding the opportunities, I think that, like, if we were gonna pick my brain, what my first go-to as far as getting deals and things like that, it's our letters. That's I think you were gonna talk about the tip of the day with the letters, right?
Yeah. So let's dive into that, right? Because a lot of people have either heard about letters or don't really know what that is. So the idea is not the letter itself, right? You can put together a design, a marketing idea, write a letter out and mail it to a certain farm, right? But what are they doing in their letters that separates them from the competition, right? If you can kind of share, maybe if you have a letter as an example that you can just give us the bullet points on what is the message, what is really coming across to the guy that's receiving that letter.
Okay, here I'm going to show you an actual letter that's being mailed out. We handwrite these letters because that's very important. There's no shortage of, robots sending letters and printed material. You want to handwrite it so they know, they feel that you've seen the property, driven by it or whatever.
Right.
So I'm going to share a letter with you, and before I do, I want to emphasize the tremendous value of having off-market opportunities, off-market inventory, because otherwise your client, your buyer, is going to be just another person who lost out to a multiple bidding war.
Right.
This is that simple. Okay, it's that simple. Your homeowner, have a buyer for your home. No open houses. No open houses. No repairs. No commission. Ready to go. Here's my number. Now, the reason we say no open houses is because a lot of people get overwhelmed with open houses. Like, oh my God, people are going to be walking through. I got to clean up. I got to do this. I got to do that. Right? Got to hide my valuables, whatever. No repairs, same thing. People don't want to be, oh, you know what? Someone's going to come here. I have to fix this thing. I have to do none of that. No commission, which is the biggest one, is wow, I'm going to be saving 5% on this $1 million home, that's $50,000. Okay. The reason we say that, we want to bring them in, we want them to consider selling, and that's what you should do as an agent. Okay. Consider them selling, and I am that buyer. LA Fixers is going to be your buyer every time. LA Fixers will be your buyer, because within LA Fixers, there's over 300 cash buyers, investors, people that are just ready to go, people that are finishing one project, getting ready to get into another project, people in 1031 exchanges, whatever.
So I want to dive in. I want to dive in a little bit deeper, because I want people to clearly understand like the mindset and the way you're supposed to think about this. Imagine you're a realtor out there and you have a buyer. You have somebody that comes to you and says, I have $1 million. I want to buy a house in this neighborhood. And what would you do? You would have the confidence now to go talk to every single person in that neighborhood, because you know you have somebody ready to buy right now. So what Chuck does with LA Fixers is he puts you in that position. He allows you to have the confidence to go out to any neighborhood, any home, anywhere, and tell them, listen, I don't want to list your home. We're not going to put it on the market. I already have a buyer. He loves this neighborhood. He wants to buy. He's willing to buy your property as is. Honestly, the commission part, with commission, no commission, you can get away with it either way, in my opinion, but whatever works, right? Because you're going to end up making money on the transaction if Chuck finds you the buyer. But at the same token, you're now able to go and guarantee that person, I have somebody right now that's willing to buy. And for them, it's hassle-free. They don't have to do open houses. They don't have to wait and deal with the back and forth offers. They just know that they can give you the property, sign an agreement with you, and go into escrow the next day. And that's really the advantage here.
And the biggest, the most beautiful thing here is what you've done here is, with the paperwork, there's also going to be a single party agreement. With that paperwork, you're securing your position in the transaction, okay? Because that paperwork is also going to include a commission agreement, which I am obligated to pay as the buyer, right? It also puts you in a position that once this property is ready, once it's renovated, once it's ready to go back to the market, you're the first person we're going to go to, because you're the person who brought the deal. That's just like a known thing that people do. So you position yourself in the deal, you embed yourself in the deal, and I think you put yourself.
And you really build yourself a baseline of customers, because once you do a couple of these transactions, it really starts changing the game for you, right? Now your signs are going up in different places. Your name gets the recognition. You're able to go to your customers and show them the type of transactions that you've been able to complete and execute with no headache, no hassle, very easily. So that's that, right? So get in the mindset that you have a buyer for any house in LA, and you can go out there and now talk confidently to these potential sellers and say, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to list your house. I have a buyer. Do you want to sell? No commissions, no listings, no nothing. Do you want to sell? That's that. Now, what I want to dive in, Chuck, a little bit more, and I have a couple of ideas here as well, but how do we get in front of these potential sellers, right? So we said letters, right? We can do letters. That's one of them. Any other ideas or things that you've seen some of your real estate partners do?
Yes, but I want to add one more thing about what you said. Do you want to sell? You got to finish that sentence with, do you want to sell at the height of the market? Because what you're doing by saying that is you're pointing out to them that you're aware that it's the height of the market. And if they weren't aware, you just made them aware that we're at the height of the market. And if they say, no, I do not want to sell at the height of the market, I think you're kind of positioning them not to answer like a dummy. Who doesn't want to sell at the height of the market? If you don't want to sell, you don't want to sell. That's fine. But if you throw the height of the market, I think that kind of puts things in perspective. Right. You were asking about how to get in front of those sellers.
Yep. Strategies, systems, ideas. I have a couple in mind, but I wanted to see first if you can give us things that you've seen work for others.
I've got a few people on my team. We're all, we call ourselves LA Fixers because we're able to structure deals that otherwise wouldn't get done, if you've got a house that's ready to get sold, but the homeowner is a hoarder, and the listing agent's like, well, listen, I'm not going to list this thing until you clean it out. Now that's a 6-month delay. So what we do, we'll come in, we'll structure it in a different way. And the reason we get creative is because our end goal is to get the funding. Okay, that's our end goal. And that's how, let me show off a little bit too. That's how we're able to get this wall of checks. You see that? Let me see. There you go. There you go. There you go. You see it? Like we have like a wall of checks. Like it basically, this is really bring the morale for us. But I want anybody who's interested in generating leads like that to feel comfortable that they've got a buyer, right?
Right. So let's talk about some systems. So we know the letters, right? So how do we get the data for the letters? If you don't already know, obviously your title reps, they can't give you kickbacks. They can't even buy you lunch technically by law. I know many of them do. But what they can do legally and what they want to do because they feel like they've been stripped of all of the ability to give away all these goodies, they can give you leads. They can give you a farm for specific neighborhoods or areas that you want to capitalize and really grow your brand in. And that's the first way to get a list of homeowners and all the information so that you can do these handwritten letters. And by the way, these handwritten letters, you can actually get them printed to look exactly handwritten. We could talk about those strategies. I'm going to highlight a couple of systems and ideas right now. I'm not going to get into the details. Chuck, if you have others, highlight them as well. And then if you want to learn more about how to actually implement and execute these plans, set up a meeting with both Chuck and I. We can do a 10-minute session with you. We can talk to you about the strategies on how to get that done and what systems you can use. And these are things that we've been using for years and have been proven and they work. So one of them, text blasting. Text blasting systems, there are 3 that I love. There's a new startup called OpenPhone. They are a phone system and a texting platform. It's one-on-one text. It's not text blasts, but it's super cheap. I think that their smallest plan is like $10 a month per user. And then their enterprise is like 25. So it's super, super affordable. Another one, if you want to be able to do mass text blasts that show up as individual messages with the person's name in it and all that, is called Twilio. And you can integrate Twilio with many different platforms like Front, I believe even Ring Central and others, and many CRMs so that you can control it much more simplified. But text messages is probably the most effective way to get your message and to make sure that it's seen. Emails, 17, 18%, open rate if you're just spamming. With text messages, it's north of 90%. So obviously you're going to get that much more bang for your buck on that. What do you see your realtors use in terms of systems?
Well, like you said, title is really the most powerful one if you know what to search for. Okay, it's like going to a restaurant and knowing what to order, right? Your title rep is going to ask you, hey, what do you want me to get you? You can go for the low hanging fruits like pre-foreclosures, which everybody goes for, right? Or you can get creative. You can say, okay, I live in Sherman Oaks 91423 zip code, right? So I want 500 addresses around me in this zip code of people that haven't sold, haven't refinanced in the last 15 years, 20 years. We know they've got equity. We know they bought it in the 2000s or so, right? And the reason why I'm saying Sherman Oaks is because you want to do this nearby where you live. That way you can always drop by, stop by, you can drive by, you keep an eye on one property, drive by it, see if you see somebody outside, pull over, talk to them, say, hey, I sent you a letter. You can get a lot of information that way. You can befriend them on Facebook. It doesn't matter. There's so many ways of reaching out to them. You can text them, whatever it is.
Okay.
But
I'm going to put you on the
do that farm near where you live.
I'm gonna put you on that on the spot here, and I'm willing to commit. I just thought of something. I've done it in the past, and that's why I thought of it. But one way to really capitalize on a neighborhood is to create some kind of a neighborhood event, right? And just an idea of what we've done with one of our real estate partners in the past is a shredding event. I didn't even think that this would work. I was shocked how many people showed up. You bring one of the shredding companies with their truck. Everybody can bring all their junk that they want to get rid of to shred, but really people just show up to show up, especially nowadays with COVID. You can get people out in the open with their masks. They can come to a shredding event. You brand it, you put your signs up. Our realtor partner got 4 transactions that weekend alone. I'm sure she got many more since then, but just that weekend, she got 4 transactions from it. Now, I'm willing to split that with any agent that wants to take it on and can own a neighborhood. Are you willing to jump in on that too? And we all partner on it and brand?
Shredding?
Any event. I just use shredding as an example. It could be a block party.
Yes. Thank you for putting me on the spot. I will join. I will take you up on that. I just want to make sure it's something creative. So let's throw some.
We'll brainstorm with the agent. I just want to put it out there. If you want to get with us, we are willing to, obviously, for us to get our name out there as well. We're willing to invest. We will split the cost of the event. We'll bring in our sponsors. We have other resources. If you want to own a neighborhood, let us know. We'll help you own that neighborhood.
By the way, shout out to Mark Salzman from Pinnacle. This is something I took a picture. Speaking of what we were just talking about, check this out. I'm just going to show you my phone here. Do you see what this is?
It's hard to see, but tell us.
It's basically a brown paper bag.
Yeah.
With a little flyer, right? With a little flyer of basically, hold on, with his flyer, right? And the flyer basically says food drive. I don't know if you can see it.
We can see it.
Right.
There you go.
All right, there you go.
All right.
So I feel like it's the most inexpensive and very effective way to get people to put their canned goods, their whatever in there, and then he picks it up or he has somebody pick it up. And it portrays really nicely on him. I care for the neighborhood. I care for the, I feed the needy, things like that. So he's the same guy that farms my neighborhood, right? And he's like just on it. So he does that once a year. He does it, 4th of July, a couple of days before, he goes and he has somebody puts, those flags, on the yard. Like he's on it. He's just pop, 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 pop. Like he's the guy for the neighborhood,
Right. And as long as you're willing to be consistent and not just be a one-hit wonder, it may take once, twice, 3 times, 10 times, who knows? But as long as you never give up and you keep doing that, you will eventually own that neighborhood. When I say own that neighborhood, you're going to get the majority of the transactions that happen there just by default. So that's absolutely one of the best ways. There's many other ways. We're not going to, continue. We're 30 minutes into the show, so we need to wrap up. But if you do want to learn more, if you want to learn specifically about any systems, use any of the templates that we've used in the past for these letters, reach out to myself or to Chuck, and we'll be able to help you put that together. We're willing to invest on our end to help you kick it off. We obviously have some interest and benefit in that as well. Anything else that you want to add, Chuck, before we wrap up this episode?
Yeah, I want to definitely see my green screen. I got to set this up. Hold on, here you go. I got to set this up. But I want to give a shout out to Los Angeles Real Estate Investors Club for connecting us with their members. I think Lior and I are going to discuss some things that we're going to be doing in the future with them. I'm happy to be a part of the team, and shout out to Larry.
Yep. Absolutely. They're a great partner to have. They're growing. They're 40,000 members?
41,000 members strong.
41,000. That's incredible.
Yeah.
We need to definitely do even more collaboration than we have. We've already had them on the show. We're probably going to bring them back soon. We do have surprise guests coming up in one of these next episodes. We're going to keep it a surprise because it's a sweet, sweet treat. Celebrity status. We'll announce that when it gets closer. Other than that, anything else, Chuck?
That is all. Enjoy this beautiful Thursday. Enjoy the weekend, and We'll catch you next Thursday.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We'll see you again next Thursday. Same place, same time. Rubbing elbows. See you later.
Bye.